We have reached the trade deadline, and the Lions will be making a move as Danny Amendola has been frustrated with his role in the organization and will be requesting a trade. Amendola, as the primary slot receiver, only has 14 catches, 0 touchdowns through 6 games, and he wants to go to a contender, which it does not look like the 2-4 Lions will be contending this season. So Amendola and a 7th are headed to the Cleveland Browns for a 4th and a future 5th. The Lions are stockpiling on future draft assets. Jermaine Kearse will become the primary slot receiver, and this can maybe open up more playing time as the number 4 receiver for a guy like Travis Fulgham. Amendola is not the only frustrated wide receiver the Lions have, as Kenny Golladay wants to be in a bigger role of the passing game, and I don't blame him. Golladay should probably be the first receiving option. However, it seems like he's the 3rd option on this team behind Marvin Jones of a rookie TJ Hawkinson. So I do think the Lions should probably try to get their 3rd-year receiver Golladay a little bit more involved. Speaking of 3rd-year receivers, the Lions will be signing Amara Darboh to replace Amendola's spot on the roster. Darboh, a Michigan product, will likely just be depth at the wide receiver position. We have some Week 8 action as the 3-4 New York Giants head out to Ford Field to take on the 2-4 Detroit Lions. Detroit coming off a tough loss a week ago at home against the Minnesota Vikings. The Lions ended up losing that game 37-17, as Minnesota was just the far better team in that game. Let's go first quarter. Lions would start off with the football as the veteran Matthew Stafford, now in his 11th year out of Georgia, he will connect for guess who? That's Kenny Golladay with the play. Big game for Golladay, who actually lost the ball out of bounds, but luckily for the Lions, he was out of bounds, and the Lions would get to retain possession. Next play from the 28. Stafford looking to throw it, and he will look for Hawkinson. Incomplete, however, a penalty flag would be thrown, and it'll be pass interference on the veteran safety Michael Thomas, former Miami Dolphin, not to be mistaken with the New Orleans Saint receiver. And then 3rd and 7. Here is Stafford connecting with Kenny G in the end zone for 6. Golladay barely was able to get his feet in bounds, and as you can see, he teleported there. And then for his celebration, he doesn't have the ball. A little bit confusing as the booth would decide to review it, and honestly, I don't really think he got both feet in. However, the refs are going to throw the Lions a bone here, and the touchdown will stand. So the refs actually helping the Lions? What? Is this real? As on 2nd down, there's Devon Kennard dropping the interception. Kennard, drafted by the New York Giants, was a Giant to start his career. And then here's the Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrick Rosas, from 58 yards. It is wide left. Daniel Jones, the holder, as this kick would be no good. So it's still 7-0. Lions going to try to extend their lead as on 3rd down. Matthew Stafford under pressure. He's going to try to throw it, but instead he would be sacked by Dominique Easley, the former Florida Gator. That will lead to a Matt Prater field goal attempt from 43 yards out. And he's Matt Money Prater for a reason, as that one almost blocked, but it will go right down Main Street. And the Lions will take a 10-0 lead. So here returns Eli Manning and the Giants offense as Manning fakes the handoff looking for Saquon Barkley on 3rd and 2. Multiple Lions miss the tackle before Quandre Diggs is the one who bridges him down, former Texas Longhorn. More of Quandre Diggs in just a little bit. Now at the 20, back to Saquon Barkley. He breaks the tackle. Reservations for 6, please, as the 2nd-year man out of Penn State, Saquon Barkley with the touchdown. Big game in this one for Barkley, as Stafford would be picked off by Alec Ogletree. Nice play right there by the former St. Louis Ram. After the interception, here's Aldrick Rosas from 52 yards out. He is good. This game is now tied up at 10 apiece as the Pro Bowl kicker goes right down Main Street. So here returns the Detroit offense after turning the ball over on their previous drive, as Matthew Stafford, the former number 1 overall pick, scrambling like he's late on a date. He would be sacked by Marcus Golden, the former Arizona Cardinal, who finished with 2.5 sacks on the day. So that'll now lead us to a 2nd and 17. Stafford dropping back, and he would connect. An absolute dart for guess who? TJ Hawkinson, the number 8 overall pick out of Iowa, makes the play right there. And then a fake handoff for Johnson. Stafford back to TJ Hawkinson again who brings it to the 16-yard line as Hawkinson is cooking right now. And then a handoff for Kerryon Johnson, juking out the defender. And Johnson eventually brought down at the 1 as Kerryon Johnson, coming off a 15-yard performance last week against the Vikings, performed much better in this one. And then 3rd and goal, Stafford was trying to get it to Galladay, but instead, TJ Hawkinson comes down with it, so it'll be a touchdown nonetheless. And it's now 17-10 as on 2nd and 2. Manning would be almost intercepted. Darius Slay had the ball in his hands, and he was starting to run with it, but he dropped it. That would have been Slay's 6th interception on the year. Ensuing Lions possession, Matthew Stafford is sacked. So the Giants start off at the 16 here on this drive. And this is where things get really interesting, folks, as Manning dropping back, sacked at the 1 by Deshaun Hand, and then the Lions call a timeout. There's 1 second left in the half. They want the Giants to run a play. They're going to try to get the safety, and sure enough, it works. As Manning goes back in the end zone, that is Albert Einstein level of genius right there from head coach Calvin Johnson, calling that timeout right there. So now the Lions are up by 9 all of a sudden, as starting the second half off, Terrence Williams, the former Cowboy, goes deep to the 14-yard line. Nice play from Eli and the crew. And then Manning on 1st down. He'd be intercepted in the end zone. You can't spell intercepted without the D. That's Quandre Diggs with the play. Diggs has blocks. He'd eventually be pushed out of bounds by Nate Solder. They would actually call that unnecessary roughness, which I don't know if I agree with that call. But once again, the refs are handing the Lions a bone. They're actually being kind to Detroit for once. And then Prater from 46 yards out, he would drill it. So the Lions would take a 22-10 lead. Prater has only missed 1 kick all season long. You see, he's been very good for this Detroit team. So here returns New York. Saquon Barkley gets by about 7 Lion defenders and is eventually brought down at the 49 by Darius Slay. But still, a crazy run from Saquon Barkley. And then 2nd and 10. Here's Manning under pressure. He loses the football as that's Trey Flowers. His first career sack as a Lion. Took a little bit longer than most Lions fans would hope for, but still a nice play from Flowers nonetheless. And then Deshaun Hand with the recovery is on 1st down. Here's Stafford. He's going to run away from his problems like a divorced husband. And he should have been intercepted as the Giant defensive back dropped it. Could have been a giant play right there. And then 2nd down. Look at Kerryon Johnson giving his best Saquon Barkley impression. 43 yards to the house for a Detroit Lion touchdown. That's going to be Kerryon Johnson's 5th touchdown of the year. So now 4th and inches, Giants down by 19. They might as well go for it as Manning gets it to Rhett Ellison, who somehow holds on to the football despite having Darius Slay covering him like a blanket. And then here's Aldrick Rosas from 54 yards out to make it a 16-point game. He would miss it. So the score remains 29-10. Lions in a very good position right now as Stafford will fake the handoff to Johnson. He fumbles the football and Alec Ogletree will recover. Ogletree somehow gets by traffic and he will find the end zone for a New York Giant touchdown as the Giants will cut the lead down to 12. Now about 6:40 to go. Here's Matthew Stafford on 1st down, connecting with Marvin Jones, who's had a pretty quiet day today. Definitely his quietest of the season as he brings it to the 17. And that Matt Prater would finish his day off with another field goal as he is 3 for 3 with field goals, 3 for 3 from extra points. And the Lions are up by 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. As on 4th down, New York going to go for it because why not? And Cody Latimer's pass is broken up by, I believe, Rashawn Melvin. So the Lions would get it back. 3rd and 12. Stafford would be sacked. As this Lions offensive line continues to struggle, Stafford has been sacked 39 times through 7 games this season. Another 4th down for the Giants. They're going to go for it because why not? And Rashawn Melvin will pick off Eli Manning. Manning's 2nd interception thrown of the game. And that is how this one would end. Detroit Lions win it by a final score of 32-17.